Okay, you all. So I decided to redo this live stream, and I'm going to make it quick because I have the Get Wealthy with Silver webinar that's scheduled to take place in what 35 minutes. So this is going to be under 30 minutes. But when I got home, I listened to the live stream that I did earlier in my vehicle, and I did not like the sound. It was giving off like a muffling type sound. So I wanted to do this again. And so let's get started with this, right? John F. Kennedy, Executive Order 11. How many ones? One. I'll show it on the screen. 111. I think four ones and zero, talking about who is Francis Bacon and what does he have to do with cryptocurrency and his contribution, or really not contribution, but he wrote all of William Shakespeare's. William Shakespeare is not who we think he is. He was not the intellect who we think he is. And is this really Bible prophecy? Right? Is this really Bible prophecy coming to pass? And who are the the translators of the Bible? There's never been an original Bible. The original copy has never been found. There's been 16, or there were 16 translations from the Bible up to 1611. Now, the reason why I love mentioning the year 1611 is not just because it have three ones in it, one one, and one six, but because that's the King James version. That's the most widely known translation that most of us have today in 2022. Most people don't know, for example, that in 1650, there's other translations like the Geneva Bible, right? The Geneva Bible and things like that. So come in, let's get this party started. Let me take you through this history lesson, and let me show you why the Bible, cryptocurrency, and silver. And again, people, I'm just putting it out there. I think you definitely will want to get in on this. Get wealth with silver. Silver. You think of silver. Silver is the vampire slayer, right? The silver bullet. When you hear things such as the silver lining, right? So let's get in. I gotta talk fast, and I'm Southern. I'm Southern, so I'm not used to talking fast. So let me. We got exactly, well. We had three ones. Hey Gwen, how are you? Oh Gwen, I cannot sing to you, but I saw yesterday on Facebook. It was your birthday. Happy 37th birthday to you. 7 plus 3 is 10. So we got that one in some type of way. Hope you're still celebrating. And let's try to get this Southern girl to talk fast, which is not in my element. Again, hit that like button. Let's share. And I'm going to get started with my core water and all. But I didn't like the sound. And so, also, if you want to get in, just to make it quick so that I can text it to you faster, text. Let's see. Um, Text Silver to 254-788 if you want that webinar link. And you're going to know why you're going to need Silver in a few minutes. If you're not, if you can't go in, it's 5 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, and 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I got to get into this. You're welcome, Gwen. You're welcome, hon. And I hope you still enjoy your birthday and celebrating. All right. So I talked about a Tom. I'm gonna show you a picture of a Tom, right? But this is Genesis, and someone on my live stream, I think it was I can't think of his name. Oh, I'm sorry, you all, but my mind is everywhere, especially when I'm doing numbers and Bible. But he brought out a great point about this is Isis. This is the goddess Isis. She comes from the ancient Egyptians, right? And he brought out the point of the genealogy of Isis. This is where we get gene Isis from, the first book of the Bible, Genesis. Now I'm looking at it from a gene perspective plus Isis, but he really put out a great point. The genealogy of Isis. So this is Isis. This is the ancient Egyptian. This is her. This is where we get Genesis from. She, the Egyptian goddess of fertility, was known as the goddess of motherhood, magic, death, healing, and rebirth. Now, you all know that when I teach to you all about ancient Egyptians and this this is where the Bible is derived from, right? This is where the Bible is derived from, but there were some changes made, and things made where people don't know. Thank you, you're welcome. People really don't know that this is the origin, and oftentimes people have been taught as well um, that ancient Egyptians, because some of their gods or their drawings had animal heads on them on human bodies, that they've been, taught things like that is evil and things like that. But when you think about the Bible and you think about the angels, right, that are described in the Bible, think about the angels and how they are described, right? That they have the face of an ox, the face of a lion, the face of an eagle, right? So this is where they got all of this from the ancient Egyptians, and mentioned in the Bible, and they put it in the Bible from the drawings, from the uh, dictations of the ancient Egyptians, right? When you see the four angels, and I love this scripture. I'm trying to go fast, but I may need to slow down. But Ephesians 2, is it Ephesians 2? But I love the scripture. Yeah, Ephesians, I think. But of the four angels standing at the corners of the earth, right? The four angels of the Bible. Let me look up that scripture to make sure I have the correct scripture. And I probably rewatch this video and be like, you should have slowed down, because no, it's Revelation 71. Because when I'm teaching all this, the numbers, if you all ever teach numbers and biblical concepts, you will understand, right? And including dates. But Revelation 71 says, after this, I saw four angels standing at the four corners of the earth. So that lets us know that the earth has four corners. Now, this is going to be off topic, on topic. But I was watching tennis, U.S. tennis match, and I immediately took a picture of it on my phone. I took a picture of the tennis court. It was like this revelation that came to me, and I sent it to my friend guy on Facebook. I sent him a message, and I'm going to show this to you all. And I was like, I was watching this tennis match, and I think the earth looks like this. This is what I told him. I think the earth looks like this, because it was just something about the four corners of the tennis court that made it realistic for me. And I really, you know, I really did not, it didn't matter to me up to this point whether the earth was flat or round. I didn't even know why it was a debate. But when I saw the blue in the tennis court, I thought about the ocean, the green grass, the green earth. This is the blue ocean. And then you can't see it in this picture, but I looked at the people sitting around, thousands and thousands, and I thought, wow, that's the globe, that's the dome. So we have to be living in a simulation. That's why it's so, because my whole thing was, what's the big deal? Okay, earth round, earth flat, whatever. What does it matter? But it matters when they don't want you to know that you're living in a simulation. That's why it matters, right? And it is in a globe sense. So it is a combination of square footage and a global covering or a dome like. So Revelation 7 and 8, I saw four angels standing at the four corners of the earth, holding back the four winds. Four is the number of the earth. I've taught on this many times. By the fourth day, we had light, liquid, land, and life. There was vegetarian fruit to eat all by the fourth day in Genesis or Genesis. So the beginning and the end, Revelation 7 and 1, 7 plus 1 is 8. The beginning and the end represents the infinity sign, right? So you see that Revelations gives you the closing or the confirmation that there are four angels and the earth has four corners. But I do believe we are in a globe, in a simulation. And so holding back, or in the matrix, if you want to call it that, the four winds, four also give us numbers, direction, north, south, east, and west, to the earth to prevent any wind blowing on the land or sea. Now, you also see the 1,000 44, 144,000 sealed mentioned in Revelation as well. However, let me get back on this, right? Because I can go on and on about the Bible and numerology. Okay, I got some help. Oh my God, you all come in, hit that like and share button and give some comments. I love it as a pastor or a preacher would say, well, my help comes with me. This helped me teach this with ease or easier, right? Now, this is, and what a very handsome picture. And you can see a Tom looks just like the clay of the earth, like the red clay. So this is the ancient Egyptian, and this is the Ankh. If you know anything about the Ankh, this is the womb of a woman, right? The womb of a woman. As well, this is what Christianity changed into the cross, but this is the womb, this is the ovary, and everyone has to be born of water out of the womb of a woman. The vaginal input, the ovaries here on the side, right? Now, I made this post and I got 91 comments, some good love, great love on Facebook, positive energy because people are looking for the truth, right? And I said, because many people don't know the real names of the Bible, I'll start with Adam, the first, and the original name is Atom. This is also where we get ATOM, scientifics of the atom, right? Some great, great comments. Other people put the real name of Abraham. And let me bring out this. She really put a great comment that Adam is Atom, Eve is electron. The story is a mythology based on life beginning with splitting of the atom, as electrons are the rib of the atom. God is the good of your higher mind. That's also called the cerebrum. Devil is the evil of your lower mind, cerebellum. So I never taught on the cerebrum and cerebellum. I always teach on the pineal gland, your third eye, right, and the pituitary gland. So she came in and brought in some great additional information as well. So she said, devil is the evil of your lower mind, your cerebellum. Heaven is your head, the highest heat of place of your body and higher nature. Hell is your heel, the lowest place of your body and lower nature. The snake that Eve was entertaining in the Bible is electromagnetic energy. Also, the snake also represents your spine. And your seven, the number seven is transition, divine transition, seven chakras, right? The tree is your spine. Um, Now, she used the word apple here. We don't know what fruit or this, comment, but it's saying this is why people saying it's the apple. I believe it's the apple, and I said I can't go into deep but anyway, when you split an apple, You can often see the two C's on the side. It looks similar to the unk. If when you split an apple at its core, you're going to see the split, the two C's on the side, which I believe represent the masculine feminine energy. And this is why most people just took the name apple, right? Even though the Bible did not specify what fruit. But the apple is your consciousness. The Kundalini energy means activating your pineal gland, hence, listen, isn't this good, you all? Conquering your own dragon. What dragon? What dragon, people? Conquering your own dragon. Well, let's go to the book, the King James, most translated version, 1611. Your dragon is that good and bad part of you, right? Genesis 6 says, and it's the only day that God says on the sixth day that God referenced that it is very good, right? Very good. And so, out of all days, when man and the wild beast, notice it says wild beast, right? That means, and I said this, I already taught this a lot of times. That when we say beast mode, this is where you get that from. Beast mode. I just went beast mode. You often hear that in sports, right? Um, and so God, um, in Genesis 1 and 1, the original translation, and people, we have to know etymology. Etymology is the origins of words when you dissect and read this Bible. Because again, let me remind you, there were 16 translations or reversions up to 1611 in King James Version. The King James version of the Bible, right? And so, or version, I won't sound like virgin with my southern accent, but version of the Bible. And I told people that King James also wrote a book on titled Demonology. I'm gonna show you all that. Right? We're gonna go into this, and I'm trying to hurry up and do it fast because again I have to be on this wealth silver webinar, but I'm going to show you that. And so now Genesis 1 and 1, Elohim, you see Him. That's the him. Elo is the feminine energy. Him is the masculine energy. Right? The masculine energy. And so we have the Elohim that's combined. This word means powerful ones, it's plural. So the earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the deep water. Uh, the Elohim was hovering over the earth. Then Elohim said, "Let there be light." That's the illumination. That's the consciousness. And people, this is why you have to be illuminated in consciousness to walk in your power and purpose as well. Before any physical creation was made, the illumination, the consciousness light, the inner power, the inner knowledge, knowing the kingdom of heaven is within, had to be activated first. So there was light. Elohim saw the light was good. So Elohim separated the light from darkness. It tells you early on, Genesis 1 and 3, that light and darkness were together and it had to be separated. The pineal gland, pituitary gland, right? The cerebellum, the cerebral part of your brain, the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly maybe. So Elohim named this the light day and the darkness named night. Now we see Eve right here. Eve in the word evening, then morning. Then morning was the first, right? So then we go to Genesis 16 and we see Elohim made two bright lights, the larger light to rule the day and the smaller light to rule the night. So that's the physical light that we see, right? That's the physical light that we see. Now, this translation says he, and we often know that God is often referred to in the masculine energy, right? Okay. Give me a second. I got people texting me about the wealth seminar, so let me text them back the link. And so that's why, but listen, both masculine and feminine energies presented themselves, right? Early on. And so with that being said, because it's the ancient Egyptians believed in that trinity, that it was male, female, and child, right? Where we get Horus from, but Bible translators changed it to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Now, common sense tell you that it's male and female, it's a trinity because they produce. Those two genders produce, can and reproduce. That trinity, right? So Elohim put the sky, put them, the sun and the moon and the stars in the sky to give light to the earth. So Genesis 1 and 3 was not about giving light to the earth. To dominate the day and night and to separate the light from darkness, Elohim saw that there was good. And again, we see Eve again. The evening and the morning was the first day. And now we see a fourth day. Now, when it comes to man, let's get this is where most people don't know, right? Then Elohim, the powerful one, said, Genesis 1 and 26, let us make man in our image and our likeness. Now, that image cannot be, the Elohim, the spirit, cannot be talking to um angels, because I just showed you angels have imagery of animals. So now this us is a little different because Elohim is already the masculine and feminine energy. I love teaching in front of my laptop. This is already the masculine and feminine energy, the powerful ones. So who us is this talking about? And in our likeness. Let them rule. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Ruling the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, domestic animals all over the earth, and all animals that crawl on the earth. Now, notice it did not say anything about the wild beast that was mentioned on the sixth day because that's inner, right? That's the yin yang, the good, bad, the positive, negative. So Elohim created humans in his image. And in the image of Elohim created them. He created them. Male and female were created simultaneously, not separately, right? So us and our image and our likeness. I'm gonna get back to that, but we're supposed to be fertile and increase in number. And listen, I love this version. Fill the earth and be its master. Fill the earth, Genesis 1 and 28, and be its master. When people make comments, for example, about going to heaven, the Bible states that the meek shall inherit the earth. The Bible states that the highest heavens belong to the Lord, the earth I have given unto mankind. Your purpose is to rule and reign on this earth. Again, the meek shall inherit the earth, not heaven, the earth. That's God plan. God has already set up his, and I'm saying his, but Elohim, right? But it's already the dominion and domain in heaven is already set up. Now, this is going to be mind boggling for a lot of you all. You want to see what King James looked like? Let me show you the version of the Bible that's most popular. This is King James. Right? Most people don't know that. Never seen him. And so his book, right, is another book that he's writing. He translated the Bible, 1611, and he's a black king. Woo! Boy, I tell you. Mm. So, on with that, right? The book is, let me show you this, Demonology, the same translator of the Bible. Some more information that people don't know. So when you have things, and I don't know why, but I like to use this scripture as a reference. In Malachi, is it 2:7? I think, where God, right? I think it's 2:3, tells the priest, because Malachi 2 was to the priest, right? It was to the priests. The priests were not tied into the Levites like God wanted. And all through Malachi, if you read the entire chapters or the book of Malachi, a very short book with 3 chapters, God was upset with the priests. And so with this, he said, because of you, I will rebuke your descendants, or I will blight your grain, because God had given them land, and all he wanted them to do was sow into themselves first, and then give 10% to the Levites, right? He wanted them to sow into themselves first, and then give to the Levites. He wanted the priests to do this. A lot of you all don't even sow into yourself first. You don't sow into yourself first, and that's sad for people that will not sow into themselves first. But he says, sow into yourself. I'm going to give you the land, and then give 10% of that. But God was so upset. He said, I will smear on your faces the dung from your festival sacrifices, and you will be carried off with it. That means poop. Yeah. So oftentimes people are reading about God and stuff, and they're like, God seems gangster in the Old Testament, but the Bible, that contradicts with the Bible that says, I'm the Lord thy God, and I change is not. But God talking about throwing poop in the priest's face, because he wasn't satisfied with their actions. That's all through Malachi. And then it goes into the 3rd verse of tithing. And so with that being said, I'm going to also show you, I got 10 minutes, that cryptocurrency has been mentioned since 1624. Now, Francis Bacon, he was the illegitimate child of Queen Elizabeth I. He was the illegitimate, oh my God, I might have to stay on. 600 people on. You all hit that like button. He was the illegitimate child of Queen Elizabeth I. He did not have heir to the throne. You know what illegitimate means, right? But he was a philosopher. He was wise. And so therefore he behind the scene he wrote Shakespeare's plays. This is why we had to study Shakespeare in school, and it's even Shakespeare in the Bible. I don't have time to go into that, but it's Shakespeare's in the Bible as well. And I'm not talking about in poetry of Ecclesiastes and things like that. It's actually in Psalms, right? What President Obama read during 9/11, Psalms 46. But again, I don't have time. Well, this is CRYPTOME. CRYPTOME. Now just take out the me. There's crypto. You know how old this is, people? 1624. Well, Queen, why are you bringing this up? Because people are saying Bible prophecy is coming to pass. People, they've been putting this stuff together for decades, for years. So this is also CRYPTOME was an attack on Europe, and it's also right Francis Bacon. Now I'm going to show you why Francis Bacon is so important and how that relates to crypto. And then we got JFK Executive Order 1111. Why cryptocurrency, certain cryptocurrency. I have to emphasize certain because not all cryptocurrencies are going to be used for use cases. Some of them are junk cryptos, right? And if you get caught holding the bag with them, you're going to just, lose a lot of money, right? So, Executive Order 1111, my numbers, because God gave me such revelation from these numbers, was issued to U.S. President JFK on June 4th, 1963, delegating the Secretary of State's President authority, listen, over to issue silver certificate. Let's click on that. Silver certificates are a type of represented money issued between 1878 and 1964 in the United States as part of its circulation of paper currency. They were produced in response to civil agitation by citizens who were angry at the Fourth Coinage Act. So this is what JFK wanted, the silver certificates. Now, if you look closely at this, let me see if I can enlarge it. You will see how true money, and this is what I'm teaching the church and Christians, used to look like. Now, I'm going to have to do some research. I don't know why Hawaii is on this. I just noticed the last two looks like the 1-1. But it would say silver certificates. It would say gold certificate. You see the number 1 on there. And Hawaii, I got to look into this. Why Hawaii? But 1 silver to the bearable demand. Now, let's go back to ancient Egyptians, right? So you never saw. So this is what JFK dollar, what he wanted to look like in 64. His dollar was going to say U.S. notes. You will not see federal anywhere. If you take out a dollar bill, you will see federal now written on there. So JFK wanted to take out the Federal Reserve. Now, let me get it right. 1933, I showed you Genesis 1 and 3, right? In 1933, Franklin D. Roosevelt, that's what I was trying to remember. Roosevelt, I was trying to remember who the president was, pretty much came in and reversed everything, right? And brought in federal. Up to then, people had freedom. You didn't need a social security card. You didn't need birth certificate. You didn't pay taxes. So with the Federal Reserve came in, and they applied taxes. But what JFK realized was the Federal Reserve was no more federal than FedEx, right? Private America, and they still are today. So private citizens, they were not American citizens either, right? And so trying to pull up these JFK dollars, United States notes. So you all can see that it did not have at that time anywhere federal on it. So this is why silver, people, and I can't enlarge it, but I'll show it to you because they had a red stamp of approval on there as well. Greetings, Roger. Roger, you supposed to be on the silver. Stay with me 2 minutes, Roger, then hop on that silver live stream. Yes, Gwen 1111. And so this is, I can't enlarge it, you all, but it was red, and just on the top it just had did not have federal anyway. It had United States notes. That's it. And this is the reason of the assassination, right? Just like Martin Luther King when he brought in the Poor People Campaign. And the money talk began, and Martin Luther King said, we come to Washington to get our checks. Okay, then the assassination was a sign, right? And so with that being said, people, executive order, all of this is strategic. So Francis Bacon, let me show you who he is. We're going back to Francis Bacon. CRYPTOME, 1624. JFK, executive order 1111, which is going to make silver, I believe right now at $18-24 an ounce, because it's going to be used for industrial use. It's going to be used for RFID chips. It's 5G Wi-Fi. This is why I tell people we are going back to the future, because this stuff, I just showed you the book from 1624, CRYPTOME, Francis Bacon. Now, this is what makes Francis Bacon so special. Besides being an illegitimate child and the child of Queen Elizabeth, who had no heir to the throne, who wrote all of Shakespeare. If you all know anything about Shakespeare, it is said that Shakespeare, in fact, could barely read or even write. But he gets that credit, right? So I'm going to show you all who Francis Bacon is and why cryptocurrency and silver. People, if you study the Wizard of Oz, that's why we say Oz and ounces. They took away Dorothy's silver slippers, the original book writing she had on silver slippers. And then they said to change it to ruby red when it hit television, just so people can see. But many people got the correlation between the gold, the yellow brick road, but they missed the silver. And silver is going to make middle class multimillionaires in cryptocurrency, right? Howard said, now we all got a pocket full of monopoly money. That's true. So let me show you this about who Francisco Bacon is, so you'll get the cryptocurrency connection.
In all modern versions of the play.
I doubt I would have come to you if all that this involved was the Shakespeare authorship question, which it does. You might have had an inkling, of course. William Shakespeare was certainly involved in the writing of the plays, but the simple point in my mind is a fair one, I think. There is a complete absence of any single piece of paper written on by William Shakespeare, except in his will. It seems to me, Dean, that if William Shakespeare had been the man of the people, he would have left evidence behind him, like a gale blowing through a paper factory with the windows open. So where is it all? I thought it was much more likely that these great works were written or dictated or edited, but inspired and directed from under the cover of a richly embroidered cloak. To me, that person could only have been a genius of his age and all ages to follow. He would also have had to have been a powerful person. He wouldn't surely only have written plays. He was Francis Bacon, the founder of modern scientific thought and philosophy, who was, as well, by necessity, a hidden poet. And the truth of Francis Bacon's secret life will eventually be found in hundreds of examples throughout his writings. You have to know the method, the key by which the encoding took place. Otherwise, you can't understand the message. This is a book of codes and ciphers published in 1624, which is crucial to Thomas Bokenham's findings. He discovered a strong indication, seemingly reinforced many times, that Francis Bacon himself had contributed a particular method of concealing messages in a text to this book. Page 140 in CRYPTOME gives an example of how a text should be squared line following line. That is the system. You take the text and you lay it out in a square of a particular number of letters per line. It was by investigating this illustration that Thomas Bokenham discovered within it the strongest possible indication that the method was provided by Francis Bacon for some future generation to find. Thomas Bokenham believes he can show that this same method has been used in dozens of cipher revelations, and that this is the key to the Shakespeare enigma.
Wow. So it talks about different revelations. It talks about, all of his contributions to Shakespeare. But more than everything, you see the numbers and the words. He was a man of coding. This is where cryptocurrency derives from, even though Nikola Tesla also contributed to it later in the 1800s. But Francis Bacon, all of this came from ancient Egyptians. I paused on purpose. So I have to get on. You can hear it in the background. I got to log off, but I'm going to leave you all with this to my silver webinar. And if you can't make the webinar, visit the website queenofcoinsilver.com at the bottom. Choose Wealth Ambassador. If you want to get your silver on auto ship, go ahead and put your wealth on auto ship. They have different packages for you. And if you want to make additional income with the income that you're already making. Now, silver was the first metal to be used as currency in ancient Egyptian. It was valued higher than gold. Um, Also, Genesis 1 and 2, I mentioned the illumination. Jesus died at the age of 33. So you see everything in astronomy, etymology, astrology, which is in the Bible. I'm going to break down Genesis 11 later on another separate live stream. You see anatomy of the brain, cerebellum, and cerebrium, pineal gland, pituitary gland, the classroom, also part of the brain, where you get the word classroom from. I told you all that the Bible reiterates that you are God's and that the kingdom of heaven is within, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, right? And that we are made a little higher than the angels. Now, also in Genesis 3 and 22, it states that now man is like us to know good and evil. What are two likes as we look at the Bible refers to Lucifer as, right? It says as, he disguises, says as an angel of light, and that's also has the 11 code in it as well. So what two entities know both? That's why people say, is the God of the Old Testament, is he the devil? Or, who is this? It's talking about putting dung in priest faces. Because, God really seems to be bipolar sometimes or schizophrenic or something, right? It's a loving and caring God one minute, then it's a God that's talking about killing and raping and putting dung in people's face. And that's just a representation that the makeup of who we are, and that we should be like Paul and struggle every day to yield to the good that was within us and not the evil. Right? And so Second Corinthians is also the 11:11 code. I brought down the number 4 as well. 11 and 14. And it says, and no one for Satan himself masquerades as, didn't say he was, but he masquerades as an angel of light. So that means he has some light, right? It's always representations of a brighter light, the sun, and a lesser light, the moon, right? So that's my breakdown. Cryptocurrency, people. Silver is here, but you have to have a cash flow to get that. So make sure that you are also connected with me to get the maximum amount of your cash flow and your tax deductions. The wealthy people pay less in taxes percentage wise than the poor working class, and because they know these loopholes to tax strategies. Things that are written in the tax code is not illegal. All right, you all. I'm logging off. I ran over my time for this one, but I talked about 33. Illumination. Christ lived to the age of 33. I'm going to leave you with this. Before the age of Pisces, we had other gods that lived for 33 years. You can go fact check this. And the sun passed through SUN. It passed through each zodiac sign for 30 days before it begins for 3 days to transition into the next zodiac sign. So this is where we get the 33. 33 also illumination, Freemasonry sign. Is where ice, 33 degrees, can be illuminated or liquidated into water, right? So where it is reborn unto the next sign, right? So you got etymology, astrology, anatomy, ancient Egyptian, the other A, allegories, all in the Bible, but it all came from ancient Egyptians. I'm signing out. Make sure you hit that like and share button. So when you say Bible prophecy is coming to pass, I want to give you a history of who wrote the Bible, because it may not be a much of a godly event that most people think it is. And yes, they are bringing it to pass because they put it in the book, in other books years ago, and they manipulated and translated and changed it from the original format that they got from ancient Egyptians. All right, you all, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for saying hello. Have a great, great night. Queen out.